Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we're making another recipe from the Stardew Valley cookbook, and today we're making chowder. In the game you get this recipe from Willie, and here it makes 6 to 8 servings. Our first step is we're going to grab this large leek and we're going to cut off this the darker green or the tough bit. So I'm going to go right about here because there's still some green coming out of that. And then you can reserve this to make some sort of or you can use it as a compost or to make a vegetable stock. There. Now we're going to quarter it lengthwise. Always those little corners. And then you're going to chop them, just good old. You're going to want to chop these about 1/8 of an inch thick and discard the ends. Once you're done chopping, you can put your leeks, or we're going to put our leeks into a medium bowl, and then we're going to cover them with water. Now with our hands, we're going to kind of separate these, the leek, and just kind of make sure that there's no dirt on it. Just kind of clean them off and separate them. After we separated them and cleaned them, we drained them and just threw them in a strainer. And you can do that a few times if yours are still dirty. Just kind of wash it, put it through the strainer. And now we're going to take these out and we're just gonna pat them dry. Now we have our first ever non-human living thing on our show because we have our clams. Sadly, the boy chicken is not real. So the recipe calls for little neck clams, but we have manila clams. Now we're going to cover our 3 pounds of clams with water, and you're going to make sure that there's 1 inch over them. Even there, I think we're going to need a little bit more water. Now with those clams, we're going to take 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour, and we're going to shake that into our clams. Then we're going to move it around the clams, and they're going to eat it and spit it back out, which is also going to help with the dirt that's in them. We're going to let those clams sit for 15 minutes. And then we're going to let a pot of water boil. So after that 15 minutes, we drained it all out, and we did see little bits of dirt in there, so we know that it worked. We didn't really see anything happening, but it did happen. So now we put it with new water, and we're going to put that flour in one more time. So while we're waiting for all that to happen, we're going to get the rest of our vegetables done, or ready. So here we have 3 small celery sticks. It calls for 2 big ones, but they should probably be equal. Then 2 carrots, 1 fennel. We're gonna chop it here, and we can use these bits for a garnish. And then 2 big red potatoes. So we rinsed our clams a second time, and now we're going to boil them until they open, which should take 5 to 7 minutes. You're going to make sure that you have a lid on there so that it's nice and tight, and then you're going to want to shake it a few times while it's cooking or boiling. So while that was boiling, we peeled our carrots, chopped all these vegetables, and chopped the potatoes into 1-inch cubes. Okay, so we're going to now take our clams in a slotted spoon or something like this and put them into another spoon. Now in that same Dutch oven that we just had the clams in, we're going to take 4 tablespoons or half a stick of butter and put that into the Dutch oven. We're going to cook it just until it's melted over medium heat. Now we're going to add our celery, carrots, leeks, and fennel into that butter. So you're going to season it with salt and pepper, and we're going to let that cook for about 15 minutes, stirring occasionally. And the carrots are going to be kind of tender, but everything else should be nice and cooked. In the meantime, you can get your clams and take them out of the shell. We're going to roughly chop the clams and discard the shells. A quote from Sebastian: "I wonder if frogs eat clams." Now we're going to get 3/4 cups of dried white wine, and we're going to put that into those vegetables. And since we're going to be boiling it and cooking it, the alcohol will be gone, so it's safe for people underage. Stir frequently until the wine is almost cooked out. Now we're going to take 1/3 cup of flour, and we're going to stir constantly until it's all mixed together. About 3 minutes. First, we're just going to stir in half of that clam broth. So we added a couple more cups of that clam broth, and you're going to want the total amount of broth to be 3.5 cups to 4 cups. Now we're going to add our potatoes, and we're going to stir them occasionally until they turn into like a gravy, or until the mixture turns into like a gravy, which could take 20 to 25 minutes. Now we're going to add to that pot 1.5 cups of milk and 1/2 cup of heavy creamer. And if you're using like fresh peas, then you'd put them in now, but if you have frozen peas, you can use the queen's tip, which is to you put them in when we're putting in like some other stuff. That's what we're doing, so I'll just tell you then. So if you saw that kind of clump and that one in there, it's because we were using a full fat milk, so it's fine. We're just gonna cook it in. And speaking of cooking, you're gonna wanna kind of stir this occasionally for 5 to 6 minutes to get that all nice and cooked in there. So now we're going to add our clams. For us, we're gonna add the peas, which are 1 cup of peas. And I already said that you can have put it earlier, but we're gonna put this in now. And also 1.5 teaspoons of tarragon leaves. It says fresh in here, but we have dried, but it should probably still help with the flavor. We are going to have this cook for 2 to 3 minutes. Once the chowder is done cooking, you can season it to salt and pepper however you like it. And once you're done with that, you'll ladle it into bowls and garnish it with some of this fond from the fennel. And also, if you were using fresh peas, you can use the pea tendrils. And now it's time to try this, which I'm really excited for because I love clam chowder. It's good. I'm happy. I'm very happy. This is very good. I'm so good. I'm gonna actually take another bite. That right there is a very, very good clam chowder. It's thick, but it's not like too thick where like it feels like you're like, sometimes I feel like clam chowders can get kind of thick, but this one has like a nice ratio. It's really good. So yeah, this is like high quality, definitely, which I mean most recipes in this book are, but like this is adding up to that reputation. So now you know how to make clam chowder from Stardew Valley. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And that's the second recipe in our spring section.